Hey, how's it going, everybody? If you're new here, welcome in. And if you've been here before, welcome back. I'm Rollshambo, the connoisseur and collector of all things sharp and shiny. And today I'm excited because we're talking about another knife from Heretic Knives. Shout out to them for sending this my way for review. Today we're checking out the Heretic Manticore S two-tone double-edged dagger in frag pattern milling. It has a nice Velcro opening here, so that's cool. It keeps it closed when it wants to be closed. On the inside, you will find some OTF lube, so you could stop asking me what I use to lubricate OTF knives, although if you really want to know, Rem oil works pretty good. If you order a Heretic OTF, you can get some of this, and I can tell you guys, you do not need very much of this OTF lube if you're trying to lubricate this knife. Inside is, of course, the Heretic Manticore S. That's S as in Sam and not F as in Frank. Got it? Good. The Heretic Manticore S. This knife has a lot of really cool features about it, and we're going to talk about just exactly why I'm excited to finally get to handle one of these knives. Initially, I had seen this knife when they initially came out, and the first thought in my head was, dang, it's just not big enough for me. It's not big enough. And the reason why is because I had previously held a Microtech UTX 70 that was loaned to me by a friend, and honestly, it just felt a little bit too small. I've also held a UTX 85, and that one felt fine, but it made me wish that I just had a Microtech Ultratech. So this is cool because it's going to come in right between a UTX 70 and a UTX 85 in a very, very unique way that I think is going to make this extremely attractive for many people to carry. So what does it cost and what do you get? Well, it costs about $280 for this variant, depending upon which model you get, because you can get this with a lot of different options. They can go into the mid $300 range, but they start right there at about $280 for the base model with the MagnaCut blade and the frag milled aluminum handle scales. Overall, we're looking at a length of about 6.5 inches, 2.6 inches of that being this beautiful dagger style blade, which is nicely symmetrical and of course made out of MagnaCut. We have a two-tone finish on this one specifically, so we have a Cerakote here on the black part and then kind of a rubbed satin finish going down the middle that I think looks really, really slick. On the back side, we have a 3D milled steel pocket clip. No, it's not titanium. Do I wish that it was? Sure. But listen, most OTF knives, especially American-made OTF knives in this price range, are just going to have your run-of-the-mill bent steel pocket clip. So the fact that we have a 3D milled steel pocket clip is something that I'm a big fan of. This is Heretic's new style of pocket clip, and they've done a fantastic job of it. Of course, being an OTF, it has a clamshell design, and here on the side it says Heretic Knives, and then it has the model name as well as the serial number. As a collector and an enthusiast, I'm a gigantic fan of having serial numbers on my knives because it's a unique identifier. It's something where you could say, yeah, I picked up number whatever. It marks your place in history, and as an enthusiast and a collector, that's something that I always appreciate regardless. On the back end here, we do have a glass breaker, and this is a glass breaker that I really like. The reason being is that it's useful when you need it and out of the way when you don't. It is right here on top of this little mountain peak because right there is a lanyard hole. So for me, the interesting thing is that I can actually get a full 4-finger grip on here, which is great. I wear medium to large size men's gloves. For those of you who wear XL or double XL size gloves, the good news is you can add a little lanyard fob right here and get the rest of your hand on there if you need it. For me, I don't need it, and having the average size hands for an average size man here in the United States, that tells me that most people are going to be able to get a full grip. It doesn't weigh a whole lot. Believe it or not, it weighs 1.9 ounces. Get out of town. This is by far going to be the least heaviest thing in your pockets, especially if you carry a wallet or keys that have any kind of keychain on there. That makes this a very, very attractive carry. I will, in fact, speaking of carry, I will, in fact, be doing an extended carry review on this. So if you haven't done so yet, make sure you hit that subscribe button, because I'm going to do an extended carry review, and that's important because this is an extremely carry-friendly knife. There are states where you cannot carry an automatic out the front knife unless it has less than a 3-inch blade. Coming in at 2.6 inches, this is going to fit the bill. You can fit this in your 5th pocket, which I think is fantastic. I have a thing for knives that fit in the 5th pocket, but also give me a full 4-finger grip because they're so carry friendly. You can pop this in your 5th pocket in your jeans and then leave your regular pocket open for other things like, you know, your keys or your wallet, your extra change, because you're going to have some extra change if you decide to go with this instead of something like the UTX 70. So I'm going to make a case here. I think that the size of this knife is very purposeful because it comes in right between a UTX 70, which is 6 inches overall, and a UTX 85, which is 7.5 inches overall. This coming in at 6.5 is going to be right there smack dab in the middle. What's interesting to me is that the UTX 70 has a 2.5 inch blade, and this is a 2.6 inch blade. So what that means is you're going to have a similar, if not a little bit longer blade than a UTX 70, but about a 1/2 inch more on the handle scales. So that makes it so you can carry this. Remember how I said that I wasn't a huge fan of the UTX 70 because I don't like having to add lanyards to things to be able to fit them in my hands? Had this been a 1/2 inch shorter, I might be singing a different tune, but with that elongated handle, that's nice. It fits well in the hand as a backup knife or as an EDC knife. Being a dagger style blade, I already know that many of you are going to say, you know, that's cool, but what if I don't carry my knife for self-defense? Dagger style blades are often not the best utility style blades, but they are really good for piercing action. I'm not going to smooth it over. I think that dagger style blades are cool, but if you do want something a little more utilitarian, they do also come in single edge variants as well as tanto variants. So you can get this in a single edge, a tanto, or in a double edge dagger style, just like this. I'm very impressed, by the way, with this frag pattern milling on these aluminum handle scales because it's nice. You don't typically find extra milling on OTFs that are $280 and made in America. At that price point, they just can't really afford the extra bit of flair, but on this one they did, and it feels great. It gives you a little bit of extra grip and it looks good too. This knife is slick. It feels good in the hands. It's lightweight. It's easy to carry. You sacrifice absolutely nothing to carry this because you can fit it in your 5th pocket and leave your main pocket open for a bigger knife if you actually need one. Not to mention that if you are comparing this against something like a UTX 70 or a UTX 85, it's going to be anywhere in the range of $20 to $60 less expensive. Notice how I didn't say cheap, and that's because neither of those models are cheap. It's going to be less expensive, but you still get American made. You still get a serialized, unique identifier. You still get beautiful action, which is easier to deploy than a Microtech, Ultratech, and a 3D milled pocket clip, which is fantastic for the ergos. There's a lot to love here on this knife, but I want to save my main opinion for my extended carry review. So if you've enjoyed this so far and you want to check out my extended carry review on this, make sure you hit that subscribe button. By the way, guys, if you want to watch more awesome knife and EDC content, feel free to click on one of the videos that pops up next.